Hello, everyone. God damn it, TJ. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the podcast, the Shifty Key Podcast, because now we are supposed to say our name in the beginning. There's a good
Now we're
reason we didn't do
supposed
that.
You know, what I've noticed since I've done a couple podcasts? Introductions are always like the most awkward things ever.
It's only awkward if we were naked.
It's because we don't plan them out in any way, Luis, not because we're naked.
I mean, are you not? I might be. I don't know. Well, maybe I know.
You don't know. Well, that's genius, Luis.
We didn't even plan who was going to do the introduction. We were just like, go.
Just rolled it out there. Yeah, that's what you get with this
You're all
podcast. We are the Shifty Keys.
We shift
And-
from one point of randomness to another.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, I'm Luis, aka Spartan Sloth, and today we have
Jim, as is typical, apparently.
Me, Vic. Hi, everyone.
And TJ, 1023. Or just TJ.
We're super enthusiastic today.
I might be the most enthusiastic, but I'm generally not enthusiastic. So this is my enthusiasm talking in a monotone voice.
I'm pretty enthusiastic, but it's because yesterday I went to sleep at 3 a.m. I woke up like 11 a.m. today, and maybe I'm still tired. It's kind of like because I was talking to people on TeamSpeak, and also because my neighbor was being a jackass and playing loud music up until, well...
Oh yeah, your Chesney neighbor.
Yeah, I was really mad at him, and I was kind of hoping he would get arrested, but,
And deported.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who didn't get the deported joke, it's because this week you may have realized that Justin Bieber got arrested for being a jackass.
Yes.
Vic is excited.
It's the one thing that'll wake me up in the morning.
And and there is an actual petition to deport him back to Canada.
That would be
When I
nice.
saw that, I couldn't believe it.
That would be lovely. I don't know that it would stop his terrible music making, but at least he wouldn't be in my country anymore.
That's a very good point.
I've even seen a comic strip somewhere where there was I think a USA officer or something pushing Justin through the border, and then a Canadian officer asking what they were doing. They said, "Oh, we're deporting him," and then the Canadian officer goes, "Like hell you are."
I don't blame them, not at all, really. Because I don't want him here. I can't imagine anybody in Canada wants to take him back.
Well, maybe all his fans were like, "Oh, release him!" Oh,
That's just ridiculous.
I feel like he's got more fans here in the U.S. who would want him to stay instead of saying release him back to Canada.
release him back to Canada.
Oh, isn't that where he's from? I have no idea.
Oh no, it's because the fans were like, release him from jail, not from the country.
So is Justin Bieber an actual citizen, or is he here on a visa?
Green card.
Vic jumps in with the answer.
How come he has a full-on green card and Gavin doesn't?
Wait, what's the difference between a green card and a visa?
Well, it's because there's the working visa, the studying visa. I might be mistaken, and then there's a green card, which I think it's you can come and go as you please or something.
I think it's yeah. I think that's because as far as Gavin is concerned, Gavin's lazy, and Bieber has an entourage that does these menial things for him because he's loaded. He's pretty rich.
Yeah. Sounds
I was
about
gonna
right.
make a joke with something that rhymes with rich, but never mind.
Bitch.
I don't know. Maybe.
Green cards and visas are both government-issued documents for immigrants, and they bestow very different rights and privileges in the United States. The critical difference is that a green card allows the holder to remain and work in the United States indefinitely, while the visa is reserved for temporary stay. Depending on the type of visa you have, however, you may be able to work during your duration in the United States. There.
And
So
there you go.
basically, a green card is you can stay as long as you want, and a visa is you can stay as long as you're working.
Visas are usually given to you by like lengths of time, so you can get like a 6-month visa. It really depends on the country you go to too. You can get like a 6-month visa, a year visa. I know if you travel to Brazil, you have to get a visa, even if you're only there for like 3 weeks. But you need a visa. Fuck you, Brazil.
Hey,
That's harsh.
you guys demand visas as
That's
well.
not funny.
I don't know how long visas go up for. Like, I don't know how long their stays can be, but I know green cards are like, it's kind of like your step to citizenship. Like, you live and work in the United States, and you have like all the rights of a legal citizen, but they're a little more long term, and they're more of a step toward becoming a citizen of the United States than a visa is. A visa, normally you can't jump from a visa to citizenship, as I understand it.
Well, that's something I didn't know. Thank you.
So the question is, do you think there's going to be some point in the future where Gavin's all of a sudden going to get deported, and they're going to ask him, why didn't you renew your visa? And he's going to say, I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, right.
The thing is I don't know what Gavin's legal status is now. Like, I don't know if he has a green card, and I don't know if he has a green card now or a visa. Like, it all really depends.
It's also
I don't know.
complicated.
Yeah, because I was just when I listened to his game time with him and Bernie, like, it sounded like they had a really hard time getting him over here anyway. So I doubt that would be one thing he would let slip, would be his ability to work and live in the United States.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like
for as lazy as Gavin is quoted to be, I would give him. I wouldn't say he would like forget about it, just for how hard it sounded.
I need to watch that
game time.
I need to watch that game time video. I don't think I've ever watched any of those.
They're really interesting.
I've watched a few. They're pretty good. And speaking of game time, there's a kind of similar new show going on for sponsors only. It's Quick Draw with Patrick.
I haven't watched it yet.
I didn't think it was terribly entertaining, to be honest. I kind of skipped through it because I got bored in the first few minutes.
Really? Wow, I liked it.
Well, most of those videos I prefer to listen to anyway. I don't really. I mean, I enjoy watching people do drawings, so I would jump back and forth looking at it because I myself like to draw and things like that. So I'm like, oh, that's what style he likes to do and stuff like that. But yeah, I usually just listen to those things as like short-term podcasts or even interviews, and they're really interesting. That sort of compared almost to the. Did you guys compare that to the game time? Because I totally missed that comparison.
Like,
my bad.
It's funny because I liked Quick Draw, even though there's only one episode so far. But I really liked it because I found the whole thing with the drawings interesting and all of that. Game time, the conversations are interesting and but it happened the other way around for me, Jim, because I felt like sometimes I would just drift away from the whole gaming that was going on in game time and just pay attention to what they were speaking. So it's basically like I was more listening to it than actually watching it.
Oh,
But
that's exactly what I would
they're,
do.
they're still interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'll definitely
High
check out
energy.
Game Time. I'm interested in that. I remember Bernie mentioned it on the podcast some time ago. Something else they mentioned on the podcast here this week was they did on the patch their rewards for the 2013 the games, their favorite games, and
Oh, right.
I was curious about like what games y'all really enjoyed from this year.
That's tough because this wasn't really my favorite year for games.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean,
Well,
I could say Grand Theft Auto, but I was really disappointed with the multiplayer.
well, there's the
But
thing. Oh yeah, go on. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, but the story was great, and the gameplay itself is very fun. It's just the multiplayer is a huge letdown since it is by no means finished.
Yeah, like I didn't finish GTA yet, the story, but I haven't played online, which I'll get to the whole online part in a second. But from what I gathered, like they were promising a whole bunch of stuff, but it didn't quite grasp all that they promised. And well, I think this year, if I had to pick a single game, I'd probably pick Bioshock Infinite because I just love that game. And I mean, GTA is pretty good, but still, like there were a lot of bugs and the whole online thing. Assassin's Creed 4, great game, like great story and all of that. But the online features in the single player story mode pissed me off to no end because I don't have internet connectivity on my Xbox and I don't have Xbox Live. So, for example, I cannot fully upgrade the Jackdaw, and so I can get like 40 gamer score. And I can get the some different sales and weapons and stuff, and that sucks. I mean, if they want to, I was talking about that yesterday. If they want to put online features and make it all special and all that, leave it for the multiplayer, in my opinion, at least. Like, don't involve the single player thing with online stuff because it's gonna, it's gonna screw someone. Like it happened to me. But still, a great game. Like I really liked it in terms of story and sailing a ship around and blowing other ships up and being all around a pirate. There was a lot of yars missing, but
Honestly, I didn't play a lot of games from 2013. I think I played. I think the only game I played was Assassin's Creed 4, and even that I'm only like.
You played Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah, I played the multiplayer. I never played the. I haven't played the campaign yet. But
So you played the most disappointing part.
actually, I found the online really fun, but that's because I don't take it seriously and I just like crash it and whatever. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but yeah, I only really played Assassin's Creed, and from the 20%, 24% I've gotten done of it, I really like it so far. But I only really got into heavy gaming like this year, so I can't really speak to a lot of video games.
Sounds awesome. I didn't play a whole lot of games from 2013 either. According to the podcast with Bernie and the patch, Bernie and the patch, I mean the patch that had Bernie on it this week. The games that they had coming out were they had Bioshock Infinite, which is a game I really liked considering I didn't finish the original Bioshock. I didn't. I got near the end, and what Bernie described as a big payoff for him with the whole "would you kindly" phrase was when I realized what was going on, I was like, oh, well, this is stupid. So I just stopped playing it shortly thereafter. But Bioshock Infinite was a massively great game. I love that whole time travel and alternate universe stuff a lot. The other game that they had brought up that I liked a lot was StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm. And I'm a big real time strategy person. And the original StarCraft is what got me hooked on real time strategies. And I have played the original StarCraft and its expansion, and Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm for I've probably spent 1,000 hours in among those 4 games. So I have to say I think probably Heart of the Swarm is my favorite for gameplay, but Bioshock Infinite would be my favorite for story. I mean, I also did cosplays for Booker DeWitt, so I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, indeed, you did the whole cosplay thing.
Yeah, I've got
That
plans
was
to do it again this year, but we're gonna do Borderlands, I think.
Ooh,
Poker
and it came
catch.
out pretty good, man. Seriously.
I appreciate it.
What are your plans to do for Borderlands? Who are you going to cosplay as?
I'm thinking I'm gonna do a gender bender necromancer is what I'm gonna do.
That's creepy.
So you're gonna what?
That's your first responses. That's creepy.
No, that's not my first response. That's my first response from anybody who's not cosplaying with me. I think it's doable. I mean, if it really looks like it's going to come out terrible, then I'll just go as Axton, the commando.
You should try and get everybody to gender bend. Like have all girls be the other people. You know?
Why not?
That would be,
Complete gender
that'd be
reversal.
an
I like
interesting
it.
theme.
What if
Yeah, female
the
assassin.
what if a girl wants to play a gender bent character, so that the gender bent character is no, wait, never mind. That was making sense in my brain, but then I started speaking, and then I noticed I wasn't going anywhere with the argument. Like it wouldn't make sense. Never mind.
Let's talk.
Brain
Good
fart.
story, bro. Great story, bro.
Thank you.
Glad we got that straightened out.
Nope.
So yeah, Bioshock. Like, I really like this game. I played the first Bioshock I played was the second one, in which you play as a Big Daddy, and I really like that one. I've heard people like, oh, the first one was better and all of that, but I don't agree that much. I played a little bit of the first one, but the whole thing, like needing to change between your gun and your plasmid, kind of pissed me off a bit because it was a waste of time, and you had to plan everything like counting with that time. But on the second one, you could just do both things at once, and same goes for Infinite. And well, there's the whole amazing story behind Infinite.
Not where my first song was. I want to play Infinite, but I only just started Bioshock. I have Bioshock 1 and 2 on Steam, and I'm like, I don't know how far I'm in on regular Bioshock. But yeah, this one I've heard like really good things about it, and I've heard bad things about it, but I'll probably play it anyway because it sounds cool. So we'll see.
If you heard someone saying bad things about Infinite, trust me, they are wrong, and they know nothing about life and video games and bacon. Because that
Bacon.
game has the same holy essence that bacon has. So just trust me.
I don't know if I would say holy essence, but it is mighty damn good. That's for sure.
You also got the Jedi Knight games on Steam, and you mentioned that you didn't play any of them yet. You don't even know who Kyle Katarn is.
Yeah, I got them. Alex gifted them to me like just randomly like a week ago, and I've had a lot of work to do and being sick and stuff. I just like haven't really been in the mood to start a new game, so I haven't played it.
Vic, Star Wars is more important than work. You should know that.
True statement.
Well, I kind of want to graduate this year, so then I'll have time to like work and play video games, and it'll be awesome. So, you know,
Sure, I
yes.
believe you.
Yeah, but
I
you
believe
should
you.
kind of like saving.
Work is more important. Listen to these two.
Well, I'm talking like schoolwork. I don't care about regular work because I'm
No,
a
that's what I'm
waitress.
saying.
Oh,
Nah, I'm just
Schoolwork is
kidding.
more important.
I'd
thank
probably
you,
be
TJ.
the last person to actually say and mean it and say that, you shouldn't give a shit about work or whatever. No, I don't agree with that. I was just joking. So for the audience, stay in school.
I will get to it. I promise. Like I have a lot of games in my Steam account. I really need to get to. It's just with with a lot. I got a lot of things going on right now, so I don't really have time to start new games, and yeah, that's why I'm going so slow on like all my Xbox games. And I know it's driving Spencer insane that I haven't finished Assassin's Creed 4 yet.
I will say, as far as the Jedi Knight games go, I never played the first one, but I watched some YouTube videos on it. It doesn't look particularly great. Um, so I have no interest in playing the first one myself, but I definitely think the second one and the third one are really, really good games, and you should absolutely take some time to invest in them.
Yeah, well, the graphics and stuff and like the looks of the games, especially with Star Wars games, don't really matter too much to me. I just like the story and the gameplay, and if I get to play a Jedi, yeah.
Yeah, it's because like
Swing
the
that lightsaber around.
first the first Jedi Knight games, or at least the ones that tell the story of Kyle Katarn, they were made a really long time ago, so they're kind of like Doom. The gameplay and the graphics and all of that, the original Doom, or maybe a bit better than that. But
Oh
still,
no, they are better than Doom.
Yeah, they're definitely better than the
yeah.
original Doom, but the first one is, I think, is what you're talking about. Because the second and third ones, they're significantly better in graphics.
Oh yeah. Like the first one I played from the Jedi Knight series was Jedi Outcast. I have no
Same.
idea where I placed the CD. I might have lost it or something. But it's just a fantastic game. I really liked it. Then I played Jedi Academy once, and I liked it as well. Uh, yeah, I was going to say like something, but not gonna spoil it for anyone. Even though it's been out for a fucking long time, but
A
I couldn't
decade.
play it.
I don't know when the first one came out, but the Jedi Outcast, the second one came out 2002, and Jedi Academy came out 2003.
My
And
God.
yeah, they were on the PC originally, but then they were ported over to the GameCube and the Xbox. I don't know about the PlayStation, but I had it on both GameCube and Xbox, and I remember playing it. I played the second one on GameCube and the third one on Xbox. I never played them on PC.
Yeah, just play them on PC. Playing that on consoles must be a good experience too. Like everything is just. I'm not trying to start a war here between PC gamers and console gamers, but I do think that some games on consoles are easier to play, like are more comfortable to play, because everything's just so there. It's just so close together.
Well, I know people who just buy like a cheap Xbox controller and use an Xbox controller to play PC games. They say it's a lot easier.
That's how I played Tomb Raider on the PC with the Tress effects and their amazing hair and all that good jazz. I've got a Logitech wireless controller that I used because I could not get used to the stupid keyboard for that game. I've switched back and forth between PC and console games pretty easily, but they had the action keys in that game mapped out really weird, and I just couldn't get the hang of it.
I want to play Tomb Raider so bad.
That's
It
another
seems like
game.
it's a lot of fun.
That's another game that's definitely up there on the games that I liked from 2013 list is Tomb Raider. I got it on Steam's summer sale for like $12.50 while they were still in stores for like $60. And I didn't think I would like ever play it anytime recently. I was like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. It's fine. And I did actually get around to playing it, and wow, it was exceptionally good. And I was only playing on the normal graphics settings, and that game is damned gorgeous, son. I mean, it is beautiful to look at. So it's got on the PC, it's got 2 levels of pretty above that level, and I was really taken aback by just how good it looks.
Yeah, I did a little bit of it on PlayStation because like an ex-friend had it on PlayStation and he had PlayStation and it was fun. I only got to play like the first hour or so, but I really enjoyed it. And I actually wanted to get it for Xbox, but it's still pretty expensive. Or
You know,
sucks.
I have never managed to complete a single Tomb Raider game from PlayStation 1. And I believe the reason for that was either because I was like too young, or because the graphics sucked so much that they kind of, hindered the gameplay, or maybe both. I have yet to try playing those games again, like now that I'm older, and see if it's because I was just dumb or something.
Dumb.
You're probably just dumb.
I never really
Hey,
got
hey,
into
hey.
Tomb Raider at all, to be honest.
I've never been a Tomb Raider fan. I don't know why I decided to get. Like I said, I guess I didn't really decide to get it because I wanted it so much as it was just cheap, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll play it one day.
The curse of the Steam sales.
Yeah, right.
It's cheap. I must get it. It is mine.
We're having that. I don't know if any of you were here the other day, but we were having discussion about the difference between consoles and PC gaming.
Oh, really?
What would that discussion be?
Well, I don't know. I think like I play on both things, PC and the consoles. I really don't see the point of people going, "Oh, this one's better," because like it's a gaming system. Who gives a shit? Just go for what is better for you. What you think it's more comfortable, and that's it. Like there are games I think they are better to play on the PC because of controls or whatever, and games that I prefer to play on consoles, like racing games. I think I prefer playing them on consoles. But for example, there is a series of games that I really like. Like I adore those games. It's the Oddworld series, and there's like the first two that I played a lot are Oddworld Apes Odyssey and Oddworld Apes Exodus. And there's a whole game speak for the main character. Like you need to communicate with other characters to save them and activate things and get you power ups to go through some areas. But on the PC, you can use the number keys for that, and it's really comfortable because each key is assigned to something. But I remember playing that on the PlayStation 1, and it was like one of the buttons was like a shift gear. So you use like four of the buttons to say some stuff, then you had to press the shift gear to say other stuff. It worked kind of like that as far as I remember. And that wasn't really good, I think, because it always messed something up for me, and but still fun to play.
I can understand that. I don't play the same games on PC that I do as on consoles. I think my big attractor to the consoles, I say that specifically, the console is Xbox. I like the system it's got going on, and I like Xbox Live and the achievements, and I've got my friends picked out. I think Steam is trying to get something like that going for the PC market as well, which it's been a big topic lately with all the Steam boxes that were announced at CES. So I think that that's a good thing, and I use Steam too, so I'll probably keep on using that. I don't know that I'll get a Steam box specifically, but I could. I mean, that's pretty much what I use my PC for. I have one Windows computer in my house, and that is exclusively used for gaming.
That's because Max suck at gaming.
It's not that they suck at gaming; it's just that nobody develops for them. I mean, Mac's making a big comeback for in the gaming world. I mean, there's more and more games that are available on the Mac now because they're using the same graphics and processing technology as Windows is. But I think that the majority of the market is that I'm a person who I want to go out, I want to buy a good gaming system that a year or 2 years down the road I want to put a new graphics card in, and that's not really something that Apple allows on their desktops, we should say.
Yeah,
Apple doesn't allow much.
that would really be nice if you could upgrade that stuff.
I feel like Vic wants to get into a Windows versus Apple argument here.
No, I'm gonna keep out of that because I really have a massive hatred for Apple, and I guess I'll keep that to myself.
Some days I don't understand how Vic and I are friends. I really don't get it some days.
Apple sucks.
I don't think a lot of people understand it
Runs
because
away
you
to
and I
this.
disagree on so much.
I know, it's weird, and I swear to God, I was like, I'll never tell anybody this ever because I don't want to get emails and stuff like that about people's problems. But I work for Apple. I'm an Apple employee, so it's like you hate my company. It's like, oh joy.
LOL.
How are we friends?
Hey, I live like 10 minutes away from Microsoft's main campus, so I know a bunch of Microsoft techies. It's like that's the thing to do over here. But yeah, whatever. I've gone into an Apple versus PC argument once, and it's just like one of those things. It's really preference over anything else.
And it is still going on.
It's still going on, but also too, it's preference over it. Like you're not going to change someone's opinion if they really like a certain product and they have the reasons why. You calling them an asshole or like getting into an argument is not going to change that. So it's like one of those things I don't even bother with anymore.
I mean, it's not a matter of being right or wrong, a matter of good and evil, of an ethics problem. It's none of that. It's just an opinion, like a preference. It's, oh, you like Mac? Okay, good for you. You like Windows? Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Oh, you like writing in stone? Good for you, Mr. Caveman. Good for you.
It's your time to waste. I've always been a person, when it comes to technology, I work for Apple now, but I've done technical support and for almost 7 years now, and I'm really at the point where it's just like just use whatever works for you. If it's Mac, great. If it's Windows, phenomenal. If it's Linux, then you're an idiot. But if it works for you, go for it.
Yeah, no, it's because it's funny because I'm gonna like I have a iPhone. I have an iPhone 4S, and it's a piece of shit at this point. It's been dropped maybe one too many times. It's just like it crashes all the time. It drops service all the time, and I hate it. So I'm like, I'm gonna go somewhere else. And everybody who I'm like, my updates in February, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a new phone in February. People are like, so you gonna go back to Apple? I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna try something new. And everyone kind of like freaks out on me. They're like, oh, you're not gonna go back to Apple? Why aren't you gonna go back to Apple? I'm just like, it's not working for me. Like, I've had only problems with the phone, and you think I'm gonna go back to a phone that I hate? Like, don't be like my roommate spent like 15 minutes trying to convince me to like stick with Apple, and I'm like, all right, I don't need this right now. I have other things to do. What?
You're not gonna be part of the horde, Vic.
Well, I'm gonna. I just.
I'm just kidding.
That was
Please
Lewis.
don't kill me through
Jim,
the internet.
I would like to point out that was Lewis, so don't hurt me.
No, Luis can have whatever opinion he wants to have, and I will say that I will not spend 15 minutes trying to convince you to come back to Apple, quote unquote. I will tell you this: you said a bunch of bad things about your iPhone just now, but I want to point out the first sentence you said was, "It may have been dropped one too many times," and I'm just going to end it there.
Well,
God damn it, Vic.
It it had issues way before. It's like I'm on my third iPhone.
Nope. Don't backpedal now. It's too late.
No, I'm telling you,
I-
I'm on my third iPhone, and I think
I
like
believe
one thing I don't understand about phone makers in general. This isn't about Apple specifically, but this is in general with the smartphones. Why do they make phones that aren't durable? Like you drop it once and the thing just like shatters.
it's called capitalism.
It's stupid. Like I'm sick and tired of spending $400 on a phone only to drop it once and the screen just goes right down.
Here's
the
a better
center.
question. Why do you drop it so much?
Because I'm not like
Is it
I'm
the
a
base?
no, I'm a klutz. I'm like a genuine klutz. You can ask my mother. Like I run into walls, I trip all over shit. I'm a genuine klutz.
And you call me the klutz. I have
TJ.
never. I've
You
had
said-
iPod touches and I've had
You
my
sat-
iPhone for 2 years and I've
TJ?
never even
TJ?
scratched my screen.
TJ, you sat on your violin and broke it.
Nice.
I
That was
find
cold-blooded.
That was one incident. Okay. One rare incident. I have never sat on
You
my
don't
violin
have
before.
pics to prove it.
I do
It
not,
happens-
in fact, have pics.
It happens over Google
As far
Hangout.
as
So-
everybody's concerned, you're lying.
No, it happened
We-
over
we-
Google Hangout. I
We
have
all know you're a dirty
witnesses. What?
liar.
I am not a dirty liar. I don't know
You're-
how.
You're a dirty Windows loving liar.
The fact that you are anti-Apple, it makes you morally ambiguous at
Really?
best.
God, I need new friends.
But you know what? I think no. I'm going to bite the bullet for Vic. I think here's what happened. Why she dropped her phone so much? Like it may have frozen
Because its holiness
too many
burns her
times.
demonic soul.
Yes.
It may have crashed way too many times, and then she accidentally dropped it from the 8th floor, and then accidentally dropped the car's wheel on it.
No.
And
I
then
love that.
he-
I love that Luis here says, "I'm gonna bite the bullet for Vic," and then goes on this tirade of just about how terrible of a person and how much of a klutz Vic is in the most extreme fashion. Hey, here's a thought. It's karma. You have a crashing phone for a crashing person.
Oh,
Oh, that was mean.
I don't know. What did I do to any of
Welcome
you?
to the throw Vic under the bus.
I'm
guy.
trying to defend you. I'm just sucking at it, but I'm trying.
I will say this. The one time I did drop and like screwed up my phone, the second iPhone I had, I was extremely pissed ass drunk. It was last Super Bowl Sunday, and I
Well,
dropped
that's
it,
new.
and I was pissed. I was trashed.
Oh
My
boy.
parents had to pull over the car so I could throw up out of the side of it.
Oh boy.
I'm sure
Yummy.
They were very proud.
They were
Yeah.
really, really. I woke up and rolled over. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm still drunk. Rolled over. My dad had put like a pot next to my bed just in case I threw up.
Good job, Dad. Good looking out.
Shout out
So-
to Mr. and Mrs. Muggsy.
We're pretty awesome people.
So if you're gonna jump away from iPhone, which it sounds like you seriously are,
Yeah,
and
I am.
I'm gonna get a lot of shit for what's gonna come next from both my Apple loving friends and everybody else in the world. Before I got this iPhone that I have now, I was a user of Windows phones for a long time. I'm a big fan of HTC, and if I may throw it out there, you may want to give it a consideration.
My mom's got a Windows phone, and she
But I
really
have an
likes it.
iPhone, and I don't really hate on anybody else for having any different phone. You know, it's
The only
whatever you
thing
want.
that sucks is the apps. Like Apple has all the apps in the world, and then you go to another phone, and it's like, oh, I can't get any of it.
The only time I hate on
Well-
a choice somebody else makes is when they tell me I'm wrong for the choice I made. Like, really?
Well, but you know what? The important thing is that both Windows, Android, and Apple, if I'm not mistaken, have Snapchat. So that's all that
Yes, that is all.
As
that
long
matters.
as they got Snapchat, go for it.
Yes, that is. And being serious, that's all that matters is Snapchat.
And then you
Snapchat
can
and
be friends with
Facebook,
Vic.
and I'm happy.
Well, Windows Phone has got a
Luis.
dope Facebook app. I'll tell you that.
Would Brazil have you pay a tax for every Snapchat you received?
Dude, I hope not, because We pay so many goddamn taxes. Like, don't even get me started on this. I don't want to get political on the podcast.
I just want to know your tax rate. What's your tax rate?
A lot. I don't know. Seriously, I don't know the numbers out of the top of my head. But here's the thing: we were talking about that yesterday. Like, let's take the PS4 for example. How much is it costing in the USA?
500.
Okay.
Google.
Here it's costing like roughly $2,000. I forgot to click the button here. Yeah, $2,000 freaking.
Good
And
lord.
yeah,
What? $2,000 for a gaming device?
yeah, and well, I will talk about the game soon. Just a second. And remember when we were talking about the Jedi Path book yesterday, Vic?
Yeah, like that $10 blue book that's like 100 pages long.
I still
Yeah,
want
it's
that.
$10 there. Here again, roughly converted, it's about $40.
It's so stupid.
God,
That's
even
You
it's
own
a
libraries
book.
and stuff. Yeah, I know.
Japan is way cheaper than that. I mean, people say, "Oh, Japan's more expensive than the U.S.," but having been over there for a while, it's really not. I tell you one thing that's cheap over there, though, is books. They make tons and tons of books there in Japan, especially manga, because it's massively popular. They had like I was at some manga superstore. They had 30 volumes of Naruto for $10 that I bought one of my friends when I was over there.
That's
It-
dirt cheap, man.
I know, it's insane. I was like, how do you not buy this? Why is this still sitting on the shelf?
That is dirt cheap. Holy crap.
Like, I seriously don't know what's going on because I've been just noticing this that things are getting constantly expensive, and I mean more and more expensive here, and that sucks because
Wasn't
like people
there?
say,
Sorry,
go
I
on,
was Go on.
no, go on.
Go on.
You go. No, you go. No,
You go.
you
No,
go.
I was just keep ranting about it. It really pisses me off because if you want to have access to like modern technology and stuff, you have to pay a fuckload of money because the taxes, you know. And I honestly don't think it's justifiable because if they say that, oh, it's because we're trying to protect our own products, yeah, but we don't have our own brand of consoles. Okay, and like I might be really mistaken, but I believe the PlayStation 4, some of them or some of the parts or something are made in the uh can't remember the translation in English, but it's like a free trade industries made here, but still we need to pay a lot of money for that. Actually, I should Google that before I just keep
But
saying stuff.
isn't
But
correct
don't
me if
take my
I'm
word for it.
wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't Brazil's government very corrupt though? Like isn't your government
Oh,
like
darn.
Damn, called him out.
No, I'm just saying like
Take that, Brazil.
I'm not trying to like be the asshole
It
in the
is.
room. I'm just like
It
saying
is.
like
You're not being an asshole.
isn't that one of the
It's
reasons
true.
for all these really really high tax rates and stuff is because Brazil just fucking embezzles money. And I mean I told you this yesterday, but I was reading an article that was talking about how FIFA is super pissed off at Brazil because none of the stadiums are done. And if like
Yeah.
they don't have the stadiums done within like the next month, they're gonna have to move venues because there's just like there's no way for everything to be done. There's just no way for it to be all ready by the time World Cup comes around.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
it's
seeing
like
something about that.
You're not wrong. There is a whole lot of corruption going on in our government, like a lot, lots and lots and lots. I could just spend the rest of this podcast saying lots. And the whole thing with the World Cup, you guys might have heard a few months back about the protests and riots and stuff in Brazil.
Yeah. I don't know much about
So
it, but
yeah,
I heard about it.
those were going on for a few different reasons, like pretty much because we are getting screwed over, for a bunch of things. And at every side they just want to charge more of the people, the small guy and all that, and we just get our butts trashed. And then there was a whole thing because of the World Cup, and it's because like our government has spent a crap load of money, like tons and tons of money, and to build stadiums and stuff, and they keep delaying projects and all that just to make it even more expensive, and you know uh, and all that money could have been spent on things that are very much necessary here, which is like the basic levels of public education and the healthcare system. Because even though there's a free healthcare system, it still needs a lot of improvement. And public schools here, like, they could also use some more investment into it. And well, there's a bunch of things that the money could be used for, to be honest. But then our government says that, oh no, it's going to be okay because we're going to get a lot of money from that, but we're going to have to share the profits with FIFA, like a good chunk of them. And I've heard people saying, oh yeah, but like the local merchants will get more money because of the whole thing with the tourists. But yeah, it's like they'll get what, 2 months, 3 months of better sales, but then it'll be over, and the, it won't make any difference pretty much. So yeah, you know, that's my whole point on that.
It's a short version right there, kids.
Yeah, like a very short version, and I'm
The
trying
short version.
not to go ape shit on this.
I'm afraid
just-
to comment on anything that you say because I'm a very political person and I will like go on a tirade about that, so I'm just gonna keep quiet. Except for that blurb.
Except for what?
Except
Yeah,
for
I
that
understand.
blurb. It's a blurb, it's a word. Except I don't think it is a word, but still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
The
yeah.
word is a word, TJ.
I love that y'all two are just mumbling it. Or just, yell into the microphone. That's fine.
Mumble, because
Yeah.
that's how I mumble. That's how I keep
How
my
you mumble
ass
in
out
the
of
jumble.
trouble. That's how I keep my butt out of trouble.
You just
So
mumble.
I mumble, and then when
Go
people
on.
don't, and then when people don't understand me, I'm just like, oh, I didn't say anything I want to talk about.
I don't think that can help you in any situation. Like, if you get pulled over, like, do you know what speed you were going? Miss, could
Oh,
you come again?
if I get
Miss,
pulled
step out of the
over,
vehicle, please. I think you're drunk.
if I get pulled over, I am like on my best behavior with the police officers. I do not talk back to them. I treat them nicely, and I usually don't get a ticket, so it's great.
That whole mumbling thing. I've been watching this anime recently called Ghost Stories, and it's the American dub. And the American dub is a people that watch the original say it's a bastardization, but basically they rewrote the script to be comical, and there are a bunch of references to American things, and it's all like all the lines are ad-libbed.
Wow.
And
I want to see this.
There's this little kid. Apparently, in the show, he's always like saying important things, like he's trying to state the obvious kid. But in the dubbed version, what it often ends up being is he'll just mumble and like cry and scream and stuff, and it's hilarious. He's basically just a little retard boy. Sorry if the word offends anybody, but
No, you're good, because
You
retard
suck,
also
TJ.
means slow.
but yeah, it's a good.
But yeah, retard
You-
means slow,
yeah,
so you're
you-
good.
So, shout out to Mrs. Muggsy again because she just got a shout out from Vic.
Sorry, I
Shout out to shoutouts.
totally forgot
No,
I
yeah.
had my hand on my push to talk.
It's okay. You know what? I think we should have Mrs. Muxie on one of the podcasts to replace
No.
Vic.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Just no.
No, I feel like
Let's not and say we didn't.
we should have Vic's mom and Spencer and watch the love unfold. The creepy, creepy love.
My mom just walked out going, just tell them my mom's in the room, and then she just booked it. Just left.
Nope, 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 nope.
Yeah, pretty much. She's been like in my room cleaning it like most of this podcast and telling me I'm disgusting and I need to clean my room when it was decently cleaned until my dad came in, grabbed a chair and threw everything that was on the chair on the floor. And I just haven't bothered picking it up because he pissed me off when he did that. So that's been this entire podcast for me.
You are disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Well,
apparently I have like 12 different pajamas thrown all over the place. I didn't know I own so many pajamas.
I was about to say, why so many in the way of pajamas?
are you collecting pajamas?
I love pajamas. I absolutely love pajamas, so they're kind of all over the place.
If your mom thinks a couple of clothes on the floor is disgusting, she would probably have a heart attack if she saw my brother's half of our bedroom.
Probably. My favorite, I have a pair of pajama pants I got in Vermont that they're red, like this really deep red with black printings of moose on them. They're my favorite. Oh my god, they're so awesome.
Moose jammas.
Yes, moose jammies.
Wow, I just remember bananas in pajamas. That's going back a long way.
There is a comedian, the whole moose thing just made me think of it. There's a comedian who makes these joke about, God, I can't remember who it is now. He has this whole joke about when he was a kid, he was terrible at English, and that English is a hard language because the teacher asked him, how do you make something plural? And he said, you add an S to the end of it. And he goes, what about boxes? And he says, she says, what about box? And he says, boxes. I forget how the whole thing goes, but anyway, she ends up asking him, what's the plural of moose? And he goes, moosin. Like, it's, like oxen. Oxen is the plural version of the word ox. So it was, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm going to just edit that out.
No, it was, I understand where you're going because he's right. English is really hard because in general, the general rule is to make something plural, you add an S to the end. But like, what do you do with the word Prius? Priuses, that doesn't sound right. It's actually prii because like Latin, when you add to make something plural, it's an I. Same would go with moose. It's not mooses, it's meese. Like geese, it's goose, it's geese. And like none of it makes sense.
You would think moose is Mises, but it's really just moose.
Like the plural of moose is meese, but maybe it's just moose or mooses. Like no one fucking knows.
All the Mesa belong to us.
I thought Mises was a plural form of mice.
All your gooses are belong to us. You know, it's because geese, gooses. Anyway,
Nice segue.
next.
Next.
Next. Wait, what's next?
I don't know. Your mom.
Oh,
Wow, cold-blooded.
I just wasn't even thinking if that was gonna be a.
We weren't talking about your mom.
Yes, you were.
I don't know. I was not trying to insult anybody. Okay, maybe kind of, not really. Okay,
I'm
yes, I
offended,
was.
but not really.
I hope you're
yeah,
all
yeah.
I
offended.
mean,
I don't know.
yeah, you weren't even talking about my mom, but I felt offended. Nice job, Vic.
Honestly,
You make me proud every day.
I
I don't think I have the
try.
right to be offended because I offend so many people. So I'm like, yeah, offended you. I guess you guys can't really offend me.
You know
Like,
what
whatever.
I really want right now? I really want pumpkin eggnog. I don't know why, but I really want pumpkin eggnog.
That sounds really good.
Right?
Sounds terrible.
You're a terrible
Sounds
person, Jim.
delicious.
How are we friends?
I don't know. I said
Does
this
it
not
freeze?
20 minutes ago. I don't know how we're friends.
Disagree on
Well,
everything, disagree on food, disagree on ideas.
Your entire
Technology
friendship
and
is based on
politics.
disagreements.
We're like the definition of how Congress. Jim and I are the definition on how Congress should get along, but they don't.
Right. Disagree on everything, but you know what? Be cordial about it. Be nice.
Yes, exactly.
It's the proper thing to do, believe it or not.
Don't pull out a
it would be
child's
different
book
if
and.
I mean, it would be different if you were talking about here because then you wouldn't be showing up for the podcast. Get it? Because we have issues with Congress here. Anyway,
Vic, I'm gonna filibuster your ass with Star Wars lore from the Old Republic.
I would be totally okay with that.
oh,
I will be the
yes.
independent party, and I will filibuster with Kreia Zalbar
What?
with 34 fanfiction.
I was about to say with what?
Oh.
Star Trek?
And today, I was doing stuff with
Zalbar? Zalbar's not Star Trek.
No,
Did you say Star
Zalbar
Trek or
is-
fanfic?
No.
I was gonna say I thought
Zalbar is from
Knights of the Old
KOTOR.
Republic. It's Star Wars too.
Yeah. I mean,
Lewis is
Kreia,
the only
Mira,
one
and
that could get
Zalbar.
that reference.
Oh.
I was gonna try to say Star Trek for the sake of just causing an argument. That's all.
Star
By
Trek.
the way, if anyone in the audience knows of any fanfics involving Kreia and Mira, send them our way.
Oh,
For research.
There better be goats too.
some GILF fan fiction right
Yeah, like-
there.
Jesus Christ.
Or
if
Wolf, Wookie I'd
there's-
like to fuck.
Mandalorian.
I kind of trailed off. I don't know if you heard me. I said Wookie I'd like to fuck.
Oh,
Wilf.
well, I'll say for Mira MILF, you could switch out Mother for Mandalorian. It works.
Mira isn't a Mandalorian, is she?
Did you not do her side quests in the stupid game?
She was released by
Uh,
Mandalorian
Years ago. Well,
Yeah.
being raised.
Get out of here, TJ. I don't even want to discuss you. I don't even want to discuss with you anymore anything. That was a terrible sentence on my part.
I lied about years ago. I actually went back and played it like a year ago, but when I was actually doing the Mandalorian Moon on Onderon or Duxon, my game crashed and I couldn't play it anymore. And I was like, screw this, not going back, because my only save was like an autosave, and I wasn't going. Or my only save before the autosave was like all the way back on Nar Shaddaa, like towards the beginning of the game, and I'm like, screw this,
Oh
not
god.
starting
TJ,
over.
TJ, if you allow me to say this, Ryan is correct. You are a laser punk bitch. You're
Actually,
welcome.
I saw the Let's Play or the,
A laser or lazy?
Laser,
I saw the
according to
sponsor
what
cut.
he said.
and it actually wasn't me he was talking about. It was Caleb.
Oh no. Well, still, you
No.
are a laser punk bitch. Yeah, you know, doesn't make any difference.
I still lasered him though, so I'm happy.
Just if people in the audience are not getting this, we were talking about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, and it's a very good game. Go check it out if you can.
There is a group, and I don't know what the status of this project is, but they found, because Knights of the Old Republic 2 was rushed majorly by Obsidian Entertainment after they took over from BioWare. And that's why like Korriban is such a short planet that like goes nowhere ultimately, and there's that droid factory on God, what is Telos? Was that the one where you get Beoder?
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about, and I have good news, but just go on, so it will make sense.
Yeah, so they found a ton of game files that were left in the Windows installation of the game, and they were trying to rebuild the ending and like make their own cutscenes because all the voice recording was done, like the voice acting's there. I looked up some of the videos. When I say videos, quote unquote, it's just the audio on YouTube of the various different endings you could have had for Knights of the Old Republic 2. So I'm interested to. I'm hoping you've got good news for me, Luis.
Yeah, if you go on Steam, there is somewhere in the group news or whatever, because it's like you buy a game and then you get access to a bunch of stuff from the game, and you can download, I think, directly from Steam, the user content they have. This restoration pack, which is exactly this. It's like they get the things that were supposed to be on the game, they restored it, and now they are on the game. I'm not sure if they recovered every single thing, but I do know that it adds a whole lot more stuff. Like I have that for mine, and I had to download the M478 planet separately. But it's just a lot of fun. Like you get a bunch of different items and missions and dialogues and options and all that sort of stuff. It's really good. Like you should, if you have the game on Steam, you should try to check out and see if you can find a post. I linked them.
If I have the game on Steam, what type of question? Of course, I have the game on Steam. What I want them to hurry up and do is bring out the Knights of the Old Republic 2 for iOS, because I'm going through the original Old Republic on my iPad right now. It translates pretty well to a touchscreen, but I'd love to see the second one come over as well.
As I just brain farted.
I can smell it.
I brain farted again. Fuck. I was gonna say something.
Well,
Okay,
already
something
then.
complaining about. I don't think you can get KOTOR 2 on Steam for Mac. I think it's Windows only because it was made by Obsidian,
Suck that, Jim.
which sucks. I'm on Mac too.
I said they need to hurry up and do it. Well, the thing is that there's a company named Asper Entertainment who brings all of these ports for Windows games over to the Mac. Like they brought over BioShock and Batman Arkham City, the original KOTOR.
Does their milkshake brings all the boys to the yard?
Where is this coming from, Luis? Where's that come from, man?
It seems like it's a song or something.
Yeah, I know it's a song, but where does your brain misfire to make you say that? Like, I don't understand.
They bring all those games to iOS, and then I just connected with bringing all the boys to the yard.
Nobody sane would make that jump.
All these
brain farts,
the hate of Luis's random moments. Last week after the podcast, you were telling me how you compared. I don't know if you want me to tell Luis this, but you were comparing Luis to Barbara's terrible puns.
I said that on the podcast.
Yeah, it was on the podcast.
Did you say that on the podcast?
I said it on the podcast.
Well, anyway, we were discussing it after the podcast, and it made me make I've been watching a lot of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the animated series. So I just found a picture of the Clone Wars, and I found a picture of Barbara's face, and I just went into GIMP and I made a really interesting image of just a bunch of Barbara's faces on clone bodies, and they were everywhere.
Oh my god.
And it was glorious.
It was perfect in so many wrong ways. Like
There's nothing wrong with
all
YouTube.
over the place.
It gives you nightmares, but you laugh at your nightmares. It's weird.
I think you guys might have been getting annoyed by it, but I liked it.
I was.
I liked it.
You were getting annoyed?
I saw it everywhere in like 24 hours. I was like, what? I don't even care now.
Well, I have to get it around to different audiences.
Sure.
Okay.
What are you eating, Vic?
Bagel.
Oh, okay.
I had to go downstairs and get my mom some stuff. BT dubs, I'm never recording a podcast.
If you were in Korea, you'd be eating a beagle.
Yes, that is true.
Oh, jeez, shut up, DJ.
That is true.
Offensive
Vic,
much.
Speaking of which, are you on a hurry already, or?
No, my mom, she's like cleaning the house and she keeps asking me to get her stuff, and
Okay.
I feel bad for always stepping away and being like, BRB. For our
I'll be right back in
listeners.
like 30 minutes, Mom.
So, damn, I forgot. I was going to. Oh yeah. Have you guys seen that the hopes for Star Wars 1313 are almost extinguished? That makes me sad.
That's
Like,
really disappointing.
What the
That's
fuck?
really disappointing.
It's like, I mean, oh sure, now you guys are gonna get Battlefront 3. Oh, okay, great, Battlefront 3. Like, I'm excited, but for fuck's sakes, finish 1313 and give us Force Unleashed 3. Don't be jackasses.
Yeah, they're
It's
not.
not.
The problem is that the games are owned on so many different fronts. Like I don't even know if any of it's gonna get done because like Battlefront 3 Battlefront 3 is owned by EA and they're fucked up. I'm trying to think like who was supposed to be developing 1313? Is that
I think that.
LucasArts? Or
Yeah, I think that was LucasArts.
well, and
Yeah,
then
but
LucasArts was disbanded after they got bought by Disney, unless
yeah.
Disney picked it up and didn't say anything to anybody. But I don't know how good their gaming division is, and I don't even know if
Well,
they have one.
I don't think so. I mean, yes, I think Disney picked it up, but they dropped it because even the whole copyright stuff, like it's over, and they did not renew it as far as I learned, which sucks because according to RT News, the game was like so far in production that it would be less expensive to just finish the game than to cancel it.
Well, how far were they on the game?
I don't know, maybe like nearly 90% or something, because that's what the news said. Like, oh, they were so far in the game that it was probably better to just finish the game than
So
to drop it.
you have a 90% completed game in which you put all this money, all this funding, all this hard work into, which it means it probably was in development for a good couple of years, and then you're just gonna. That's like such a waste of money. Like, why at least finish it and make a couple bucks off the game? And it was also a game that would have been extremely well received by fans
Yeah,
because
and it seems
people
like
wanted it.
I've
So
heard
I don't.
of. Go on, sorry.
I sorry, I was just gonna say like I don't understand business wise how that seems.
So yeah, I mean, I may be mistaken about the percentage, but I'm just making it up. But the news is that it was really far in production, and I've heard all sorts of rumors, and it was supposed to reveal at some point in the game that the main character, the guy you play with, is actually Boba Fett. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it would have been so awesome. Like, Boba Fett is probably one of the most badass characters in Star Wars, or in the history of pop culture or whatever.
I love that Boba Fett was one of these characters who was turned into this somebody who's so greatly loved by fans. While in Return of the Jedi, he has one line, and that's ah. Like it's so funny that he turned into this character.
Well, I mean, he just looked like a freaking badass all the time. And it's really the sort of character that, thanks to fan reception, got where he is today. Like, if people didn't care about Boba Fett, then, oh, okay, he fell in the Sarlacc pit, fuck him. But, they managed to bring him back to life, on the expanded universe. And he's, like, in the Clone Wars stuff and on the games, like wherever they can fit Boba Fett, they just put him there. Not like randomly, it makes sense. Okay, he's a bounty hunter, so go get someone for us. But still, like, Boba Fett is one of the coolest characters. Like, I really like the Mandalorians.
I'm not saying he's not a cool character. I just think it's interesting how
Oh
he is
yeah,
a
yeah,
character
I
who was
understand.
made into something interesting when his original character wasn't really interesting. So
He was more
Yeah,
like a plot device. He
yeah,
was the
pretty
he
much.
bounty
really
hunter looking
was.
for Han.
He really was more of a. I mean, episode 2. That's all he was a plot device. It was like this is how he got made, and this is how he came into being, and then you're not going to hear from him for another 5 movies, 3 movies, two, 3.
Although he had a really
Well,
interesting plot
it,
in
it depends.
the Clone Wars TV series.
Yeah,
He's trying to hunt down Mace. I thought that was a pretty cool episode.
yeah. That's like that's pretty much like a
Spoiler alert.
storyline throughout
Yeah,
the entire show, though, because that's not something that gets resolved right away. That was something that kind of continued onward throughout the series, if I remember
like
correctly.
Boba Fett
I have,
hunting Mace?
Yeah.
I didn't get to
I
that
only
part.
saw that.
Now,
Sorry.
go on. That's okay. Go on.
Well, if you're still watching it, then I won't say anymore.
No, you can go. I mean,
I
it's
was
been
just gonna
out there
say
for a
that
while. I kind of knew that Boba Fett was there and something with Mace Windu. Just I will watch it anyway.
I'm actually on the 4th season now, which is like the 5th, 4th, 5th. What season are they on?
6th, I think. I thought they were on their 6th or 5th.
I'm on the 4th season. Anyway,
That's IMDb.
So far, I think it was only like the 2nd or the 3rd season. There was like 1 or 2 episodes with Boba Fett, and they haven't really done much else with that since then.
If I remember, I mean, like, I could be wrong because I watched it like almost a year ago, 2 years ago maybe. But if I remember correctly, it was kind of something that went through the entire series, but I could be wrong. I could just be like putting the 2 episodes like so far ahead chronologically in my head.
I think I got.
You might be right though. It might be a recurring plot.
No, I mean,
and they're on their 6th season.
Yet.
They're on their 6th season, by the way.
Oh, but it's the last one, which sucks.
I went all the way up to like, I don't know, maybe half the 2nd season or the entire 2nd season. I don't remember them mentioning Boba Fett, so it probably starts on the 3rd season. I might be mistaken.
I can check right now.
When I am not confused about these things.
Keep talking. I'm gonna look at it.
Well, one thing that came out of Boba Fett that was the whole Mandalorian culture, because I don't know where it was originally stated, but I want to say way, way, way back, and this has been retconned, but it said that Boba Fett was the last Mandalorian. I mean, that's been changed now. He obviously wasn't, but because of that, now there's this whole slew of Star Wars history where Mandalorians are very important to. I mean, go back to Knights of the Old Republic, when it was Revan and all that jazz. I mean, the Mandalorians then were just critically important, and I think that's incredible that it's a bunch of fan-made expanded universe stuff that turned this character or something about this character into something much greater than it was originally intended to be.
That pretty much defines all of the Star Wars expanded universe. It is really cool.
Well,
and by the way, it was the very first episode of the 3rd season. That was the Boba Fett, the beginning of the Boba Fett, like, episodes.
Yeah, to like add on to that whole like what's fans have spurred on to like create this whole expanded universe is one of my actually recent book I read. Granted, it was a few years ago when I read it, but it was probably one of my more favorite Star Wars books. Was a book about Plagueis, the
Rule of Two.
No, it was called Darth. It was essentially about Darth Plagueis and his journey into becoming a Sith, and then like grabbing onto Palpatine and turning Palpatine into the Emperor he became, and it was a fantastic book. Like it was very interesting, and it dealt with like subjects that you don't normally like hear about. Because I don't know how much of the whole lore is really focused on the dark side, but it was a great read, a great book, and it like talked about how Plagueis like got a hold of Darth Maul and like brought him up, and how they got a hold of Count Dooku and all of that, and Grievous, and like it follows him up to his death. It's like, if you guys are looking for a good read in the Star Wars universe, I totally recommend that book.
Do you remember the name?
What was it called again?
I think it was called Darth Plagueis. Let me Google it real quick.
Because the Rule of Two thing that Jim was talking about, that was the Darth Bane book. I remember that much because because I was actually in the store and I'm like, ooh, a Star Wars book, and I'm like, Darth Bane, never heard of this guy.
Yeah, that's like 1,000 years before the movies, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Hopefully you can't hear that in the background, but I just linked it, and that's exactly what the book is. Great book, and it's a recent book. It was only published I don't remember when it was published, but it was only a few years ago. So it's a pretty new book.
I may read that.
2012.
Yeah.
Reprint edition 2012. But
I may read that if I don't have to sell a kidney to buy it here.
Not a kidney, a liver at most.
I was just talking with some friends yesterday about this is one of the reasons I love having like tablets like my iPad, because you can get the Kindle app and you can have all these books on there and you don't have your whole bookshelf taken up with stuff, and it's a lot cheaper to usually do it that way. I have the Dark Horse Comics app, which has 527 issues of Star Wars, I think, and I'm like, that's it, my life's done, I'm over.
Dark Horse isn't printing the comics anymore.
Who is?
Not Dark Horse. I read an article. There's a tavern, like a bar up here called the AFK Tavern, and they post all these nerdy news posts every once in a while. And Dark Horse is not doing with LucasArts selling to Disney. Dark Horse is not doing Star Wars comics anymore.
Oh shit! I better buy up everything I can.
I don't know who's doing it. I think they're moving it to Disney. I have to find the article, but it was like a month or so ago when I read it.
Disney, stop fucking shit up, please.
Hey, as long as they do the next 3 movies, fine. I really don't care.
Yeah, as long as they don't mess up the next trilogy, then I'll be okay. But if they do, oh boy, it's gonna be a shitstorm all over.
Well,
you want to do rumors? You want to do rumor time about that?
There's not a lot of rumors.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
One rumor dropped that they're going to have Obi-Wan have a daughter or granddaughter or something like that.
Yeah, chick, bastard. No!
That would totally screw up the expanded universe 100%.
That would fuck. And that would also blow everyone's
mind. They'll just add in a clip note somewhere where Obi-Wan banged a prostitute somewhere along the line.
Oh, by the way, he saved this poor girl in a bar on Tatooine.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's like, oh my god,
he's a man.
Hold on.
Okay, holding.
He has a daughter, but it all happens after he went into exile. It's not like he was like Anakin being a punk bitch and getting married while being a Jedi still.
Well, he's still a Jedi. And
he's still a Jedi.
But
you would think that after what happened to Anakin, Obi-Wan would be very, very cautious about getting into relationships.
Maybe that's what did it. Maybe he goes, I screwed up so bad with Anakin, and maybe I'll try again.
You know what?
I don't like it. I'm just saying maybe that's the thought process.
Maybe I'll try a girl this time and bang her.
Can we not?
She can't marry someone else if she marries me.
Can we not? This is just, I love Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think it would just destroy him in my eyes if they did that. Like, wouldn't be able to do it. Like, I couldn't.
Obi-Wan, if I'm not mistaken, he gave up a few chances for, like, some relationships.
He was, if you read the Jedi Apprentice books, he was very into Siri Tachi when he was younger. And they actually both of them looked into leaving the Jedi Order, and they both decided not to because they felt like being a Jedi was more a part of them than being in a relationship with one another.
And he could have hooked up with the Mandalorian princess, right? They say that on the Clone Wars cartoon.
The Duchess.
Oh, the Duchess? Yeah, there's something.
Well, yeah, I mean, she wanted his lightsaber, if you know what I mean.
If you're not, like, quirky and you take that as canon, then he tried to bang her.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't like her. I didn't really like her. But if they do that to him, I wouldn't be able to finish the trilogy.
I mean, I would probably still watch it, but with a heavy heart, maybe.
Yeah, I can do it.
I wouldn't see how it would make any sense. Maybe an adopted granddaughter? I don't know.
Adopted would, like, I could understand.
Yeah, I could do adopted.
But I couldn't do biological, because that would just ruin who Obi-Wan was.
Like, the stuff he stood for.
Like an adopted daughter, and then that daughter as a granddaughter.
Yeah, because if they did... if they made it biological, that would just ruin everything that Obi-Wan was and who he was and what he stood for. And like, I mean, anybody who would know the extended universe and knew like the Jedi Apprentice, which I'm still trying to get a hold of some of those books, but you know, if anyone who read the Jedi Apprentice books, like he looked at it and the Jedi Order was his life. Like even post slaughter of all the Jedi, I feel like, especially if he's like one of the few Jedi left, I don't see him throwing away all of like their teachings and their beliefs just because there's no order left. Like I feel like that would be more of a reason for him to keep it up. So I would be devastated if it was biological.
Which is funny because Qui-Gon was like the Grey Jedi. If he had to bend the rules a little, it would be okay by him. And Obi-Wan was his apprentice. And Obi-Wan is kind of like the total opposite in that way because he plays by the Jedi rules all the time. Like he's very strict with that.
Yeah, he is very strict, but
he does it in the best kind of way.
He does. And oh my god, Amazon has all the Jedi. Alright, you're not gonna hear from me for the next like the 379 days. Oh, I love all these books. All of these books. They're my child.
That's one good thing about Amazon. They got some. They have like every book ever printed. It's wonderful.
Great.
I will say this. I am somebody who is a big fan of what?
Nothing. Just keep going. I
Go
think
on.
it's Louis being asked.
Just keep going.
I'm a big fan of the Jedi Order after Luke rebuilt it. How with the old Jedi, it was not to have strong emotions like love, because love is when that emotion is acted upon, it can get perverted. So the best thing to do is just not be tempted with it, so to just stay away from that. But I love how Luke put it in, I think it's the new Jedi Order series, where he says that love is one of those things where it strengthens you, and family is something that will bring people together and make the entirety of a larger community stronger. And I love that idea so much. And I gotta say, I think the old school Jedi are just a little too stoic for me, and I really think Luke had it spot on with the way he redid things in the expanded universe after.
You know, I have the view that the old school Jedi, like before Order 66, they were, I don't know, it just strikes me like that. Maybe it's because of the temples. Like they seem to be a bit too strict, but also like kind of classy. And when Luke took it over, it was like, oh yeah, let's loosen up a little. You know, no need to be so tight. But I don't know. It's because Luke spent a lot of time on the academy on Yavin, and that was in my eyes, it was kind of a shithole. That place. I like the Coruscant Temple a lot more, so that might have had something to do with my view of that. But yeah, I
Coruscant
think
Temple will always be my favorite temple.
I think
that was a pretty badass place.
I definitely think the more secluded temples, like the ones on Dantooine from Old Republic, or even Yavin 4, I think those are great ideas because it gets the Jedi kind of isolated away where they can focus on what they're meant to do and learn, and they have a more isolated place for them to be more clear of thought without all the noise of populace around them. Now I know that the old school,
politics.
away from politics, that's a good thing, but I'm talking about like just the noise of city life in addition to that. But I will say that the way that they brought to life the Jedi Temple in the movies on Coruscant, it looks absolutely gorgeous. You were right about that.
Yeah, well, and also too, like when you read the books, like you don't get the sense that the temple is really, even though it's in the city, you don't get that sense of that it really feels like that. I'm trying to figure out how to best word it, but even though it's in the city and it's surrounded by politics and people and city life, it's very much still a refuge for all of them, all of the Jedi, and it's still one of those places that those people that the Jedi can go to and kind of escape.
Or if you're talking about
even in the
Episode 3,
movies,
get slaughtered for the 66.
Yeah. Well, even in the movies, they like every scene in there, you never like hear speeders passing by or anything like that. It's always like a calm, serene, almost scholarly environment that's really good. Like I always enjoyed it. You know, a lot of people hate on the original trilogy, but I just love the Jedi action. The Jedi.
Oh, you mean the prequel trilogy?
Yeah, the prequel trilogy, and I kind of like I can see the good sides of both the new and the old Jedi Order. I think they're both cool.
Yeah.
The prequels are fine. They're really good, in my opinion.
Except for Jar Jar.
I have to agree.
Except for Jar Jar.
Oh, Jar Jar.
Even Jar Jar is
So,
okay.
how about some questions?
Questions, yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Jim, we don't have anything prepared, right?
I have no questions.
No, I mean introduction for the questions. Okay. Da, 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 da,
Oh,
da.
jeez.
Questions.
Not that again.
Oh God.
Not that again.
So,
High energy.
All right. So,
Okay.
questions, go.
Questions. Lady Chemical asks, "Do you confuse yourself? Because you confuse me." I think this one was directed more at me. So, no, I don't really confuse myself. Things usually make a lot of sense in my brain. Most of the time. So, nah. What about you guys? Do you tend to confuse yourselves?
Yeah.
No.
All the time.
All day, every day.
Am I the
I
only
start to
one
do
whose
something.
synapses fire normally in this group?
Yes.
Yeah,
Who's
probably.
to say being normal is normal? Maybe you're the weird one. If we're all crazy and you're not, maybe you're the crazy one.
Yeah, exactly. We
Well,
could go.
Thank God that I am crazy, because I can't imagine having the problems y'all have. Y'all are nuts, all of you.
I don't have too many problems. Jeez.
Too many.
I've got like maybe 4, 3.
I mean, I probably have a lot of problems, but still,
Which
you're
have
crazy.
not been proven by science. So,
All right, next question.
okay.
Lightning round, go.
Also, I'm eating popsicles. Okay. No, don't. This one is by Original. Why are woodchucks called woodchucks? Do they eat? Do they eat then throw up the wood they eat, or is chuck like a weird way of saying chunk? Do they actually eat wood chunks then? What are woodchucks anyway? Are they beavers or birds or something else?
Woodchucks are actually, I don't know what. I'm thinking of a woodpecker. Never mind. I don't know what a woodchuck is. I just know it's a rhyme.
So, apparently we are Wikipedia now. A very bad version of Wikipedia.
It's a hard cider.
Or the best version?
I have no idea what a woodchuck is.
The groundhog. Wait, the groundhog is also known as the woodchuck. Groundhog.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yeah, the groundhog.
Problem
also known as
solved.
the woodchuck is a rodent of the family something, belonging to the group of the large ground squirrels, also known as marmots. Other marmots, such as yellow-bellied and hoary, they live in these states.
I have never thought of a groundhog as a ground squirrel.
Vic, the Wikipedia chick.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, Alex, so there you go. Okay, next one. Then I need to choose.
I have a question. Why does every time you go onto a store site and you see the Valentine's Day section, you click on it, it's always like underwear and pajamas. And they all have stupid little hearts, and they're red, and they're pink, and they're stupid, and I hate them. Alright, never mind. I'm done.
Because you hate them. That's why.
So that wasn't really a question so much as a miniature rant.
Yes.
A little mini rant.
Okay, so
shaped like hearts.
Rant time.
No. Done. I just
Okay.
I put in the link dump so you know why I got angry and confused. They have a polka dot bond. All right, never mind. Sorry, go Lewis.
Okay. Well, back to questions then. This one is by It's Julius. if a tree falls in the forest, but no one is around to hear it, do we all get do we all get free blowjobs from the tree? No.
If we do, I'm giving mine away.
Yeah,
You
like
want a blowjob?
you're gonna get splinters.
Not from
all
a
over.
tree.
I mean, at that point, you already have wood. So what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah,
Tell
but
you
it's
what,
like,
tell you what, Vic, you can have mine. How about that?
No,
you're
pass,
gonna
thanks.
get splinters all over your wee wee. So I mean,
No, I'm not. I'm
maybe,
giving
I
it to
don't know.
Vic.
No, you're
should
not.
ask-
I don't want it.
Well, if you're not there to hear it, then how are you going to get a blowjob from the tree?
You should ask.
Maybe
the
it's just from the
tree
closest
first.
person to you. In which case, it's still kind of
But
weird.
yeah, Vic, if you wanna have my tree blowjob,
I don't
you can
want
have it.
I don't want it. Whatever fucking Jim says, I don't want it. No.
So we're all agreed that we pass our tree jobs off
All
to
right,
Vic,
so
right?
Vic
You
does
also-
not want me to gift her the entire Jedi Apprentice series. Got it.
Wait, what?
Oh, pick me, pick me!
Nope, too late. You already said you don't want it. Luis,
Wait, I
What-
said I didn't want it. I didn't
Wait,
say
what's-
it. Wait, what?
What?
you said whatever Jim is giving, you don't want. So,
I don't. Well, I didn't want the fucking blowjob.
well, you should have said that, but you said whatever. So, Luis, congratulations, you're runner-up winner.
Aww.
You're a Jedi
Damn
princess.
it. Sad day. Sad day in the life of me. Mm.
You suck, Vic.
I know I do. I know I suck.
Back to the theme
I'm
of the podcast.
I'm curious about how
Run
much
Vic
that
over with
whole
the bus.
collection costs.
Probably a few tree blowjobs.
Like 10, maybe.
That's a lot of tree blowjobs. That's a lot of splinters in
What
your
is it?
dick.
What is it? One per novel?
There's that series is like, I think it's like 20 books or something. It's a
All right.
big
Well,
series.
one for two isn't so bad.
Okay, this one is by Joshi, and he asks, "What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?" Well,
is it
5.
is it an African swallow or is it a European swallow?
Yeah, he doesn't specify, but I think the point here is, if you're a swallow,
I think the
has
point is
a
Luis
decent
does not watch Monty Python.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say.
Well, I watch it sometimes, but I did not get to that. I have no idea what you mean.
Oh,
my
merciful
God.
knights who once said knee.
Oh, it's for the Black Knight?
From Holy Grail.
Yeah, the quest for the Holy Grail. That's the one.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Pretty
I didn't
damn
watch
sure.
all of it.
Yes.
I just. Okay.
What is your name?
Okay, I'll get to it. Okay, I'll watch
What
it today.
is your favorite color? What
I'll watch it today.
is the speed of an unladen swallow?
An
Okay.
African swallow or a European swallow? Damn it!
No.
I haven't seen any Monty Python.
Oh my God, Jim! This is the one thing we agree on. No,
I was about to say, this is why we're friends. This right here. We troll each other and we know Monty Python.
Well,
You-
TJ, I guess we suck now.
you all need to watch it. It's great. Just watch it.
Okay, I'm going to do this like either today or tomorrow, just so you won't try to kill me. But yeah, Joshi,
Good
there
idea.
you go. There's your answer, and you did not save me some embarrassment. Now, Vic's probably going to punch me through the internet.
Yep.
Thank you for that. Okay, you.
Dick punch.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Maybe. Totally a dick punch. So, are we done for today? I still have
think
more
we're done.
questions. But,
Nope, I'm good.
We've been going a lot longer than. I'm getting
All
glared
right.
at by my mother. This is the last time
Oh,
I
yeah.
record a podcast at home.
Oh, bye, Ma. Shot down.
Yeah.
You're not welcome here.
Rejected.
Yeah.
The knights who say knee say
She's
no.
not here. She's not in here right now, so. Yeah.
Well then, thank you all for listening to the Shifty Key Podcast, episode
Thank
2.
you.
And send us more questions, please. And see you next time. Bye.
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 Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 This week's intro and outro song is Fire Within by Jens Kilstoft. hosted by Machinima Sound. You can find more of their free work made available under the Creative Commons license by visiting youtube.com/user/Machinima Sound or by visiting machinimasound.com.